Hey guys, so in this video, I wanted to address some frequently asked questions and doubts that you might have regarding the emotional integration process, regarding emotional mastery. So basically, there are basically 3 points that I want to make today. So I think they will help you because when you are going through the different exercises in this section of the course, you will, of course, every human will go through different experiences. So you might have some unique questions, and I just wanted to address those, keeping in mind what people generally ask me and the kind of questions that I also had when I began my journey. So the first one is, are emotions bad? And I just want to tell you that emotions are not bad. And what is their purpose then? So I'll give you an example. So for example, if you are, I think I've given this example in another video too, and I'll give you more. But for example, if you are angry with someone, you're really angry, or you're generally angry in life, it shows you that something or someone invaded your boundaries against your will. So that can be physical, but most often it is also emotional, and we don't realize that this is happening, that someone is forcing us, let's say, to do something, or someone is telling us that no, even though you think that this is not right, I'm going to invade your boundary anyway. I'm going to tell you what to do, or I'm going to try and make you do something. So something like that. So that is when anger comes up. It's like, how dare you, right? So you can think of any challenging emotion that you feel, and feel into yourself, because of course I can't give you an exhaustive list of all emotions and what they mean. So this is something, this is like intelligence that you need to work with yourself. So ask yourself this, because I know that you know it. For example, if you feel shame, then what is the purpose of shame? If I'm feeling shame, shame is like a complete rejection of what I am. So the purpose that is showing me is always going to be the opposite quality. Is going to be, it's going to show me that I'm actually very powerful, that I actually deserve to be seen. So the opposite of shame will look something like deserving to be seen, shining my light, or shining my power. So there isn't always an exact opposite of these negative emotions, the so-called negative emotions, but you find something that feels like it, that feels right to you. And then that is the quality that you need to bring in into your life. So for example, if I'm jealous of someone, if I'm envious or jealous of someone, deeply jealous, and I keep feeling that, I don't get this and this person has this all the time. Like, let's say I see another woman, and she's in a happy relationship or something, and I don't have one. So I'm like, what the hell? Like, she doesn't have this, she doesn't have that, and look at me, I have this and that. But why is it me, that doesn't get a successful relationship? So this envy again is like, if I go into it, and I'm showing you an example so that you can do the same yourself. These are just some examples. And so I'll feel into it. Okay, I'm feeling jealous. So first is recognizing that, okay, I'm feeling jealous. Why am I feeling jealous? What is my belief? Okay, so my belief is that she always gets something better and I don't. So I don't get the love that I deserve. That's my belief. And okay, I'm breathing more into that. Why do I feel I don't get the love that I deserve? Okay, it's because I feel that I'm perhaps too much for most people. I'm too awakened, and other people can't handle it. It triggers them. Okay, how does that make me feel? That makes me feel alone. That makes me feel like I won't be supported by other people, and I have to do everything by myself. Okay, I have to do everything by myself. Why is that bad? It's bad because I desire partnership. Sometimes I can't do certain things by myself, and I exhaust myself. I feel exhausted. Okay, I feel exhausted. I can't do things by myself. Why is that bad? That's bad because if I don't have help, how will I survive? So ultimately I will die. I'll have no partnership, and my chances of survival are slimmer because of that. So you'll hit something like this, you'll hit a level of death. Basically, every emotion that we feel, it comes from our childhood or our past, when we were weaker somehow. So behind my jealousy and my envy, there was actually this belief hidden that I will be alone and I won't survive because of that. I have to do everything by myself, and I can't do that because I'm not superhuman. So therefore, I will die. You see, so you would have not thought that, like, you're just walking in a mall and you see a person in a happy relationship, and you're not going to associate that feeling uncomfortable with the fact that what you actually believe is that I'm going to die because I'm alone and I'll always be alone. So we always have to do a little bit of introspection like this by going within the body, and if we're feeling some negative emotion, we ask ourselves questions like, okay, what exactly am I feeling? So what is my belief behind that lies behind that? Why is that so bad? Keep asking yourself these questions. Why is that so bad? Okay, I believe I'm alone. Why is that so bad? I believe I'll be alone forever. Okay, why is that so bad? Because I can't do everything by myself. Okay, so what will happen? Well, I won't survive. I'm not going to make it. You see, so you have to keep going until you hit death, basically, something that where you can't go further. Because all of our survival fears are about that. They're about survival. They're about I won't survive. And they were formed in early childhood because, during that time, if our mother, let's say, or our father were giving more attention to our baby sister or a brother, and we felt jealous, and let's say we were hungry or we had some sort of a need, and in that moment we felt, oh my god, I can't get it. And of course your mother perhaps would have, in most cases would have taken care of you, your parents, but the child believed that right now I don't have it, because the child only understands right now, and when we're born as pure souls, that's from source, that's what it is. We get things like this, so we're used to that. So when we don't get it, we're like, oh my god, what's happening? So we believe that I won't survive because of that. And that's where these patterns come in from, and in our adulthood we keep recreating that. But in our adulthood, for instance, that threat usually isn't there. In some cases it can be, and again you can do an exercise to check with that, which I'll explain next. But in most cases, for example in this case, it's not a threat to me, that girl, or me being for example, it's not the case anymore that one of my parents is too busy or is giving attention to my other sibling, and therefore I won't survive. That's not true. That's not really a threat anymore. Whereas when I was a kid, if my parents were actually doing that, they were only giving attention to my sister or brother and not to me, it would mean death. I wouldn't get food, I wouldn't get attention, I wouldn't get care, I wouldn't have access to hygiene, things that I can't do on my own. But those are things that I can do now. So basically it brings you these, introspecting further like this by asking these questions, just brings you into this awareness of what exactly is it that I'm feeling. And then when you hit that level of death, you have gone all the way into your fear. So emotions are not bad at all. They're just showing you, where you won't survive. And as a child, that was necessary. When you go out in the wild, that's necessary. If you're scared, when you see a wild animal, it's showing you, yes, you better get out of there. But if you're feeling that in your everyday life, where there's no real threat anymore right now, except just for that inner fear that lies within you, then you can sort of just acknowledge that, and that fear expresses itself and it gets released. You let it express itself again and again, because it's a pattern you have built over time, and then it has no need to be there, so it'll go away. So emotions are not bad at all. Fear is not bad in itself. It just has a purpose to show you something regarding your survival. Now we come to the second step, which is that when is the right time to drop a certain wall. So what happens is that we create certain boundaries and barriers in order to protect ourselves. Let's take another example. So for example, let's say I have a relationship, and I don't let anybody get too close to me. So I have a wall. So anytime somebody wants commitment with me, let's say that I do actually desire commitment, but I have problems committing, and the reason is because I've built a wall, and I don't let anybody get too close to me and too close to my vulnerabilities and my insecurities and my fears. I don't want anyone to see all of that, because in the past people saw that, and then they judged it and they ran away, and I felt abandoned. So that wall was necessary in the past. Let's say in my childhood, I was bullied in school for a certain thing. Let's say something about my body, the way I looked, something people made fun of. And now I'm scared, that if I get intimate with someone, and what would they say? So there's a certain boundary that I have drawn up. So in the past it was necessary, because a child cannot handle, a child doesn't have those rational capabilities yet, because they're at that stage of development. So when society or our friends as children are saying, you are not okay, there's a problem with you, that automatically brings up this fear of being ostracized from, within us, which is another survival fear. In the past, for example, if you're ostracized from society, if society throws you out for whatever reason, you won't make it. For example, let's look at COVID now. Patients who are suffering, there's that fear that gets kicked in, that nobody will want me, I'll get kicked out, it's like I won't have human support. It's a survival fear. So you may not connect all of these more surface fears to something like I will die, but when you go within, you'll find that that's where it comes from, that's the origin of it. So when is the right time to drop this wall that you had built up in order for your survival? Because a child cannot process so much emotion all at once. The child won't survive. The body needs to handle trauma in stages. That's why when people go through something very traumatic, they keep having nightmares for many, many years and even decades, until they don't process it. So the body has a way of processing things. In order to make you survive and to protect you, it built that wall. So it's almost like, you blocked it out, the full scope of the reality that you were going through. But in integration, in trauma integration, in emotional integration, emotional mastery, we have to visit those parts again. We voluntarily know that now I am older, now I am an adult, I know that I'm safe. So I can go, and I know that I am the higher self, so I can go within these parts of myself. I can see it for what it is, and it just needs to express itself. The fear, the child, the fear that it was feeling, the trauma that it was feeling, the horror that it was feeling. I simply need to observe, allow the fears in the child, that expression. They'll do their thing. I don't even need to do anything. I just observe, and it'll pass. It'll coalesce into this state of balance and into the state of love. So when is the right time to drop a certain wall? You do that work, and you find out what the core belief is. Like when I did the shame example, the core belief is I'll be alone, I'll die alone. And therefore I'll die. So you take that belief and you see the threat that was there. As a child, the threat was, and it's useful to also connect it to your real life, if you can remember where this is coming from. So if you can remember, like when you go within, sometimes you don't consciously remember, but during inner child work, which is also part of this section, you might find out that you felt jealous as a child of your sibling. So you ask yourself, is the threat still there? And as a child, the threat was that mommy, daddy are not here to attend to me and my needs. Therefore, I will die. So that threat, now as I evaluate, isn't there anymore. I'm an adult, I can take care of myself, I have a job. Even if I lose this job, I have other abilities, I'm okay. I'm gonna do okay. I have friends. I'm doing fine, actually. It's not as bad as I think. Even if there is something that is bad, it's not as bad as I think. It doesn't mean that I will die. So that threat isn't really there. So you need to evaluate, is that original threat here in this moment now? If it is not there, that means you are ready to let that wall go, to let that wall dissolve and to open up. So we drew a wall for protection. But when that protection is no longer needed, we open up. And then we become a whole person. We become an integrated person. That wall was necessary for our survival, but it was necessary at that time. So ideally what should happen in a perfect world is that you contract, you have a wall up then. But then the moment you realize, oh no, it was just 1 hour, my parents were looking after the toddler baby, and I'm okay, like they're back to me now. So then you let that wall go. But over time, again and again, that fear came back to you, and so it became more solidified. So that wall is still there. So when you let that wall go, then you become the integrated human now. So that is the core of our inner child healing work and our emotional mastery. In some cases, in some rare cases, the threat might still be there. For example, let's say you have a childhood abuser, somebody raped you in your childhood and you were just sort of trained like that. It's almost like, sometimes it's the father or the mother doing it to. So in such a case, when the father or mother, let's say, did it to the child and they were harming, abusing the child, you may have become an adult. You may have grown up and even don't live with your parents. Let's say you don't even have a connection with them. But there might be a partner that you attracted because that's what you understood as love. That love is punishment or love is abuse in some way. So let's say your current partner that you have attracted into your life also abuses you. So that is a threat that is there in front of you. In that case, it may not be safe to completely let go of the wall. There might be another step necessary before that, which is to find a way to get out of that reality where you are living with a threat, where that threat exists in your life. So what can I do now in order to not have this threat in my life? So that is something that you need to address first. Give yourself time for that to happen. And then once that happens and you feel a certain level of safety, that right now in this moment at least I am safe. There are fears inside of me that stem from my childhood, but I am safe right now physically. There's nothing harming me. So at that stage, then you can start going within your emotions, doing all of this emotional work, these beautiful practices that I put in this course, and which help you then to open up, to go into your fears, and to allow the fears to express themselves and to basically open up. So my belief is that, in case you are confused and you don't know which stage you're at, my belief is that when you start doing inner child healing work and you start doing the different practices in this course, you start bringing in more light. So even if there are threats around you, I do believe that energy shifts your outer reality. I've seen it happen so many times. So as long as that belief is solid and as long as you're doing the work, that reality cannot hold. There's something or the other that's going to happen, that the threat has to move away from your reality because you have changed your vibration. And when the vibration becomes love, only love can exist around it. It's just a vibrational law. It's not even, some people think, am I really that powerful? It's not about that. It's vibrational law. When you allow in light, only light can exist around you. And even those moments where, something darker comes in, it's for a split second. And because your main predominant vibration is light, that is what exists around you. So I believe that these practices regardless will help you. But of course, you as a sovereign being, as someone who's doing this self-study course, you are the one who needs to discern what is right for you now. And your body will always tell you. Your body will always tell you what is right for you now. What is the step now? So get used to going within your body, speaking to the body, asking the body for messages, asking the body what it needs. And that is the main thing. And then, you'll see how your life transforms. So the third point, this video has quite a few things. But the last point is that I want to say is that behind every emotion and every sensation that you feel in the body, positive emotions, negative emotions, or sensations like a tingly feeling in your body or a contracted feeling in your body, any type of feeling in your body, there is a state that exists. There is an essence that exists. So these sensations that we feel, emotions that we feel, they are more physical. They are related to our more physical reality. And but the truth of us, the core truth of us, is that we are light. So these are different soul essences, which are joy, magic, love, power, grace. They always exist. Abundance. This is the reality of what you are. And actually, when you think about it, it's the only reality of what you are. And why you are here on earth is to live that. Is to know I am abundance. I am love. No matter what is going on in my life, I know I'm love. No matter how much money I have, don't have, I am abundance. Money is just a piece of paper. Abundance is my inner reality. I am an infinite being, therefore I have access to infinite resources inside of myself. I can draw it in. I have access to the whole of the cosmos. What is one job? So when you know that and you start knowing that you are infinite, you have infinite reserves of love, of abundance, of magic, joy, whatever it is that you wish to create in your life. Health. I associate grace with health, balance. Because grace is that perfect balance, basically, essentially. So anything that you want access to, you have access to because you're an infinite being, infinite and eternal. And so because we're doing all of these practices in this course, you can actually summon them. And you'll do it in the third eye stage as well, these different practices, and the crown stage of manifesting things. So you can work with the light and you will see how your outer reality starts to shift. It takes a while sometimes, but it starts to shift. When inside of ourselves we believe I am love, I am abundance, I am magic. So no matter what emotion you are feeling, the emotion is just trying to show you what you really are at your core. So shame is showing you are power. What other emotions are there? I'm trying to think of some. For example, betrayal. Somebody betrayed you. Let's say they cheated on you or something. Or some other, in your career you were betrayed, let's say. Then it's trust. It's showing you, I trust myself. No matter what happened in my life, I trust myself. No matter who showed up, what they did, that's their business. I am not that reality. I am trust. I know myself as trust. And because I can trust myself, I know that predominantly what I create in my life will be an experience of trust, where I can trust the universe, I can trust the cosmos to provide for me, to bring me what I need. And you keep knowing yourself as that through these inner practices of visiting that feeling of betrayal, going, why do I feel betrayed? Because that man cheated on me. Why is that so bad? Because I felt hurt and rejected. Why is feeling rejected so bad? Because it makes me feel like I'm nothing, like I don't exist. Why is that so bad? I don't matter. What happens if I don't matter? If I don't matter, what's my purpose in this life? I don't want to live. Therefore, I have no option but to die, either from sadness or because I don't like myself. So you see, I know that for some people this will be triggering and they might think, why are we going into these deep things? But these are thoughts that are operating anyway. If you are experiencing any negative emotion, there's a core thing that's happening in your body, that is saying, I won't survive, I won't make it. And just going within that and bringing the breath there, bringing expansion there, allowing it to express itself, doesn't mean that you are amplifying it or you're bringing in negativity into your life. You're simply allowing it a voice. It's like the hurt child in you that never got a voice, that never got to say, look, I'm angry, I'm acting out because that child hit me and nobody saw it, but it happened. You see? And then each time if a teacher screams at that child and says, no, you're bad, and the parent says you're bad, everybody tells it it's bad, it's going to keep that anger. So it's going to show up in different scenarios that have nothing to do with school when it's an adult. But at its core, there's that functioning fear of I won't survive because nobody protects me. I'm not protected. I have to fend for myself. I have to protect myself. I'm the only one who can do that. And since I don't have the energy to always do that or the capacity to always do that, I won't make it. I will survive. I will die. So it's always operating no matter what negative emotion you're experiencing. So when we just go within, we allow the child to express that look, I don't feel okay. I don't feel like I'll survive. It's released. When you do that again and again, your body starts transforming, the DNA starts transforming, there's a different programming that happens. So I hope that you will see the love that is within this and not see it as something that is going to cause you more problems. So everything depends on what you believe about it. If you believe it's helping you, then that means that you're bringing in the breath there, you're bringing in light, and then expansion will happen. Going through, going into your deeper wounds and feeling them, and feeling, that level of fear that you haven't allowed so far isn't necessarily a negative thing. And it's not a negative thing when you are holding neutral space. You're simply observing and allowing it expression. And especially if you feel that each time when you finish your meditation or you finish your work, your inner child work, you feel slightly lighter than you did when you began, than you did when you went in, that means you're on the right path. Healing doesn't happen just in one go, that you face something traumatic in your childhood and the first time you do the meditation, that's it. So the goal is just to feel slightly better each time, is to feel like our vibration has shifted a little bit. We have allowed that emotion, that belief that we had in our body, allowed it expression a little bit more, allowed it just to express itself. So, going back to my point, behind every negative or positive emotion, every sensation in your body lies a state, because that is the soul part of you, the spirit part of you. So that is the only operating thing at its core, in truth. And our job is just to allow that. And each time that we allow emotions to express themselves and just to move instead of being stuck, because they are emotion, energy in motion. You allow them motion, you allow them to do their thing, they will coalesce and integrate with the underlying essence. For example, you feel unsuccessful, you feel a lack of self-worth, you go inside and you feel, what's the point of me trying to even apply for jobs? I am not successful, nobody wants me. And then you go within, why do I believe that? Why is that so bad? Oh, that's bad because nobody wants me. Why is that bad? I won't survive, I won't be able to afford anything to eat, and I just won't make it. So you go within and you find out that that is what you believe. The moment it hits that death reality, you keep holding space. Don't try and run away. You hold space, just observing, just within love, observing the neutral part of you, allowing the inner child to express itself. And you'll see how suddenly there's something inside of you that says, I exist, I am infinite, I am abundance. Even when I hit this death level, I actually exist, I didn't die. I am abundance. So you see how behind every negative emotion, core belief, lies these essences. And often it'll be the opposite, like you believe that you are unworthy, you believe that you are poor, you believe that you won't have enough resources. And what's lying beneath that is abundance. What's trying to come through in your body is abundance. And because we have blocked it, this doesn't feel, because in the past we had some hurt related to it, that's when it feels uncomfortable. But we breathe, we allow, and abundance comes through. We allow expression to everything negative. Everything finds a way. The body has intelligence. It finds a way to do the whirlwind and then calm down on its own. It's like the storm has to come. There has to be these different cycles, that happen in nature. The storm has to come, but it does its thing. and then everything becomes so much better. Have you ever noticed after the rain, after the storm, there's just a different level, it's like a different vibration. I think there's negative ions or what, and which changes the air quality. Like the air quality is physically, actually measurably better. Scientifically you can prove this. So that's what happens in our body as well. We have to allow that storm to happen, because the body has its own intelligence. Actually, we don't even need to do anything except allow old fears to express themselves through your inner child. Allow the core essence to come through. Abundance, joy, magic, love, that is what you are. Okay guys, so I hope that this video was helpful. I'm going to just repeat one line of each point so that you remember. Number one, emotions are not bad. They are just here to show you what you truly are, the essence that you truly are. Number two, when is the right time to drop walls that we have built? The walls were built to protect ourselves, but you go within, you find out, does the original threat still exist in my life or not? If it doesn't, you are ready. Ask your body, it will tell you, I am ready. I'm ready to release this wall. I'm ready to embrace, to open up. It's safe for me to open up now. Open up to love. Because when you're closed, everything stays out. All the negativity, but even the positivity, the good things. When you start opening up, some of the negative starts coming in, but you can handle it because you just hold neutral space, knowing that you're infinite, nothing can harm you. And your true self also comes in, you see. Number three, behind every emotion, every sensation in your body, again, lies these essences, these infinite states, and that is what you are. So remember this throughout this course and these processes. If you have any questions, you can email me, and I just wish you just so much love throughout this journey.